paid program. Views expressed on this program are not necessarily those of CBS Radio, its sponsors, or affiliates.
Good morning. Welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. I'm your host, Harvey Freed. Alongside of me, my partner, there he is, Alex Nafusi.
Hey, buddy. How are you, man?
Hey, good morning, Alex. What's happening? February 11, 2017. We've got a special guest in the studio, Lawrence Levy from Lawrence Levy and Associates. Hey, Lawrence, thanks for joining us.
Hey, love it. Love to come on.
We know you're a big radio star down in Florida. You do the show down there. It's all about tax resolution and having accounting services, and you handle that whole spectrum.
We do.
Everything to do about accounting.
A to Z, tax problems, payroll taxes, bookkeeping, get your taxes done. And it's tax season, so having on the show today is very newsworthy, timely.
Yeah, no doubt that a lot of self-employed guys have to get in to see their tax guy. If you want to use, though, that income that you made in 2016 and you use a 2-year average.
Those guys don't pay taxes.
Some of them do. Well, Lawrence is there to help them
That's what
not
we
pay
like,
taxes.
though.
Yeah.
That's great advertising for us, the ones that don't pay taxes.
All my buddies that are self-employed, I'm like, I don't want to talk to you guys right now.
Right.
They do show enough to qualify for the mortgage, and then we go from there.
Something like that.
And that's why you guys are here. Good. We got a lot of contractors actually that always ask about, what do you do? How do you get a mortgage? You got that Schedule C, or you haven't filed in a few years. So in today's world with mortgages and where it used to be where you could have those no-doc loans, explain a little bit about that, because a lot of our client base would actually love to hear how that works when they are self-employed, they haven't filed in a couple of years. How's that going to work for them?
It's a great question, man. I'm glad you brought that up. A lot of times people, when you take that initial phone call, they say, I'm trying to buy a house, but I'm self-employed. Well, being self-employed is, quite frankly, it's a moot point. What you're telling me is you don't pay taxes, and you show $3,000 on your 1040.
Right. And oh, by the way, I want to qualify for a mortgage for $300,000.
Exactly. I'm going to buy a house for $750,000. I mean, back in the day, if you put down, 20-30%, you could do what's called a no-doc loan, and they're not there anymore. I mean, if whether you're self-employed or not, you have to show income, and what's on paper. I don't care how much, and I'm doing air quotes right now, how much you make. If it's not on your 1040, and I can't verify to an underwriter, that's
done.
It's not there, man.
Yeah,
I can't do anything for you.
Even this morning, and again, if you want to join the show, 248-539-9797. If you have any tax situation going on, you got federal, state tax liens, this is the show to call. We'll get you hooked up with the greatest people here in Southeast Michigan that'll really take care of your business. And again, Lawrence, you have offices in Florida and but 6 other states also.
Yeah, well, they're actually all around the country, but one of our main offices is right here in the Metro Detroit area. And if there are tax problems that you have, you want to face them and deal with them, because we get a lot of people that come in and say, if I owe the IRS and I have a lien, can I get a mortgage? If I owe the IRS and I have a lien and you are in the middle of trying to refi, how's that going to work? And that's what we were talking about before we went live on the air today. And I think it's great to tell everyone how that would work. If there is a lien and you're looking to get a mortgage and you want to call the best mortgage company in town, these are the guys.
All right. We shed some light actually this morning. We were just in a quick conversation. We're just actually having our water this morning and casual conversation. And yeah, we have families out there. You might owe the state of Michigan or the federal government or IRS, that is, a handsome amount of money. If you have an installment plan worked out and you can document the plan, you've made 3 payments on it, you're able, typically, as long as everything else falls in place, able to move forward and purchase a house for your family. The IRS wants you to work, wants you to build communities, wants to build families, and they want to be paid.
IRS does want to get paid, but in case you have an IRS problem and you're not in an installment agreement, or with Michigan, a couple of years ago, Michigan actually came out with what's called an offer and compromise. And in Michigan, the offer and compromise program, we'd lobbied for it for literally 2 decades. And eventually, with a new legislature in place and a new governor, state of Michigan now has an offer and compromise. So for any of your potential customers that are out there that have tax liens, either IRS or now state of Michigan, Michigan offers the offer and compromise. It's a great tool to use. It takes a while, though, so keep in mind it's a good 6 to 8 months.
That's settling the tax lien?
Settling the tax lien. So if you owe income tax, or we just had a restaurant that owed over... It was $220,000 in sales tax and withholding tax. I don't remember the exact details. And they had settled for just about $20,000. And we have one pending now.
For that, though? Like, didn't Wesley Snipes go to jail for? Is that who went to? It is,
but it's
to jail for it.
It is, but those criminal actions are extremely rare. Believe it or not, a lot of these civil tax controversy, the IRS does not pursue things in a criminal fashion very often. We see it in our world, in the civil tax resolution world. We don't see it a lot. Certain states do, though, move from civil to criminal. You talked about Florida. Florida, for example, if you have in Michigan a retail business, clothing store, restaurant, whatever it may be, that owes sales tax, whether it's $50,000 or $100,000, we can work out something. The state treasury will deal with it, no problem. But in Florida, that same exact scenario, within a New York minute, it'll convert from civil to criminal very fast. And the willful failure to file, the fact of a non-filing of a sales tax or the non-payment of sales tax in Florida is criminal. In Michigan, it's not.
Okay, that's some great information. If you're just tuning in, this is going to be a great show here. 248-539-9797. Tons of information about purchasing a house, refinancing, and more importantly, it's tax season. We brought in Lawrence Levy from Levy & Associates. He's got tons of great information to share with you. You know, get that house. Never put it off. I mean, that's the thing. It's never better to wait. Get in touch with a CPA. Get in touch with the tax professionals like Lawrence. Again, audit, defense, accounting services, avoiding garnishment from your wages. I mean, that can really jam you up.
Well, actually, we always talk about my last name. So garnishment is the generic term. You want to avoid the wage levy and a bank levy. So as we always say, you want a levy on your side, right? It's
wake it up. I got it.
You want a levy on your side, not one against you. Don't fear a levy. You hire a levy. And I just happen to be born with that last name. And that's exactly the slogans after spending a lot of money on marketing and a lot of money on local advertising agencies. I figured I'd use my last name and create that myself. But you want to always be proactive. As Harvey was saying, it's really important to be proactive because IRS will not go away. And anyone who's listening, this show is about mortgages. That's what you guys do. And I also want to bring up, I had breakfast with a couple of your other esteemed colleagues, which one is in the house, but being very quiet over there.
Yeah,
we'll
bring him. We're going to introduce him next segment.
Yeah, he's really, I can see he's chomping at the bit because he wants to say something. But we had breakfast about a month ago. And
once
one of
he
the
starts,
things,
it doesn't stop, though, just so you know.
So I hear. That's an issue. But we've been texting at 5 in the morning, though, which is okay. But one of the things that we love about your company is the customer service. You guys rock with customer service. I'm a big fan of advocating for customer service, responding, being timely, and also giving the straight answer. A lot of companies out there, a lot of mortgage companies out there will try and woo you, and they'll try and get you in the door, and then eventually say, so you're not going to qualify. And I think it's great how you guys are straight shooters here, and you've been around a long time. How long has the business been around?
We celebrate our 25th year this year.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, and most of us been around a few years, even more than that.
Celebrating that, right? We all have, anniversaries that we had. I just had mine, so not quite 25 years, but you know my wife and my brother-in-laws, and it's all good.
We know all your people.
You know all the peeps, right? Exactly.
If you would like to join the show, 248-539-9797. Of course, the Capital Mortgage family wants to send out our sincere condolences to the Illich family. Mr. Illich, of course, a self-made man. This town region will never forget Mr. Illich. His legacy will live on forever. We salute you, sir. And, of course, your family will continue the wonderful things you've done for the city of Detroit and our region. 248-539-9797 if you'd like to join the show. Also, a salute out to the Detroit firefighters. Man, talk about some hardworking people here in Detroit. I want to send out some salutes. They had some elevators broke in a fire, I think it was Thursday night. These guys went up 15 flights of stairs. My salute goes out to these hardworking guys that put their lives on the line to save the lives of many of our citizens here in Southeast Detroit. So a salute to all the local firemen. And again, why not throw it out there, Bobby, because of the fact that we have a special program set up with all the local firemen in Detroit and police.
And police officers.
Yep, and the police officers. So definitely contact Capital Mortgage Funding. Find out how much money you can save. We have corporate programs set up. And if you're not in a union or a corporate program, we'll set one up for you or your family members to make sure that you ultimately save a lot of money on a mortgage and get the best possible service. Again, we're taking your calls here in the studio, 248-539-9797. Alex, mortgage interest rates still at historical lows.
Yeah, no, I mean, we're in good shape, man. I mean, obviously, the market, it kind of took a beating after the election, but everything is, it's still, historically rates are still okay, so they're not at 60-year lows. They're at 55-year lows. Right. I don't want to hear it, man. I mean, and when you break it down over, into small figures, I mean, if I asked you to borrow, $1,000 from Harvey, and I'm like, I'll pay you back $4 a month for the next 30 years, you'd be like, dude, take a hike, man. There's no deal. But when it comes to a house, all of a sudden it's like, well, I mean, your rates are high. Rates are up. I mean,
Mortgage rates are just so low right now. Of course, you know, Lawrence, the tax deduction is really the thing that I think first-time home buyers, they never really get to feel it until they own the house.
Right.
And that is the key. It's like I try to tell a lot of the families, like if you're currently renting for about $1,000 a month, when you calculate the tax deduction for the interest and the property taxes, and then you can even write off some of the closing costs initially. Home ownership, like owning for $1,000 a month is like renting for about $750 at the end of the day.
Absolutely. And mortgage interest deductions, when you can itemize on your Schedule A, it's huge. And people don't realize that it has a big impact. And using your example, the average person that's out there making $75,000 to $100,000, if they're married and have a kid, right? Typically, the IRS algorithms are set up so they're going to assume that someone at that level is going to have a home. And if you don't, even claiming married and zero on your withholding is going to cost you potentially tax. So there's going to be a big difference when you have that mortgage. So give everyone at Capital Mortgage Funding a call, because it's going to be a huge benefit if you do get a mortgage and you also have that property tax, and also on Schedule A, you'll itemize for your deductions. But one thing I want to pick up on, you gave a shout out to the firefighters and to the first responders. We also are offering to anyone listening, any first responder, whether it's a firefighter, whether it's a police officer. We also expanded it to school teachers, by the way, and I think you have a relationship with teachers. And one of the things that we brought up about a couple of weeks ago, there was a bomb scare at the JCC here locally in Metro Detroit, and my son is a senior, and he came up with the idea to say, hey, look, I want to thank the first responders. I want to thank everyone who came to the aid. He said there was 50 to 100 cars that were there that took care of those kids. So we actually went on Fox 2 a couple of weeks ago, and he came up with an idea saying, I want to offer back to the community. And so for any first responders, for any school employee, whether it's an educator, someone in the administration office, and or down to the janitor, anywhere, anyone who's a school employee, show that school ID, we give them a discount on their tax return preparation.
All right, tons of savings. If you want to call the professionals, give us a call, 1-800-LOW-RATE. That's at Capital Mortgage Funding. Of course, we take your calls here live in the studio, 248-539-9797. We'll be right back.
Hi, Harry Glantz for Capital Mortgage Funding. Rates are at historic lows, so what are you waiting for? Call 1-800-LOW-RATE and let our award-winning staff help you save money. Look, if you're looking to purchase a new home, refinance your existing home, and you want to save money, call 1-800-LOW-RATE and take advantage of these historic low rates. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. What are you waiting for? Call 1-800-LOW-RATE. Capital Mortgage Funding is powered by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, NMLS ID number 2289, Equal Housing Lender.
Add a sophisticated look to your home with Moen Faucets from Menards. Moen Faucets are known for quality and style. Plus, they're easy to install. Check out the 6-function handheld shower head that has a magnetic docking station. In a chrome finish, it's only $39. Or get the Ridgedale kitchen faucet with motion sense technology for easy, hands-free operation. In a stainless steel finish, it's just $368. Now during Menards Big Sale.
Save big money at Menards.
You know you're in trouble when the counting starts. Sitting in a patient waiting room, you start counting. 12 magazines, 3 dead plants, 8 buzzing fluorescent lights, 9 people ahead of you. Anything to pass the time. 13 people wearing sneakers, 4 unknown carpet stains, 3 hacking coughs, 7 ahead of you. Next time, reserve your spot online and skip the wait at a Henry Ford walk-in clinic. It's the faster care option for non-emergency things like sprains, fevers, earaches, and more. Open 7 days a week, including weekends and evenings. Whether you reserve online or walk in, you'll get expert care from a Henry Ford clinician, all for the cost of an office visit copay. 7-day availability, world-class care, and 5, you count them, locations. Henry Ford Health System, all for you. Go to henryford.com/skip-the-wait.
Welcome to Staples.
Staples Guy, my New Year's resolution is to get new customers in the door.
Well, Staples has everything you need to promote your business. Signs, pens, mugs, you name it.
Perfect.
And right now, you can get 15% off custom banners and posters.
15% off? That's one resolution off my list.
Oh, how many were there?
Just the one.
then Happy New Year.
This year, resolve to promote your business at Staples. And right now, get 15% off custom banners and posters. Staples, make more happen.
Offer ends 3/24/17. See a Staples associate for details.
What if you could sell your home for 18% more money? What if you only had a one-day listing contract where if you weren't happy, you could cancel it at any time? What if your realtor would guarantee that your home will sell at a price and deadline that's acceptable to you, or he'll step up and buy it himself? Hi, my name's Mark Z with Keller Williams, and that's all part of the Z Guarantee. If you're not happy, fire me. I'm not bragging. I'm applying for the job. Call me, Mark Z, today, or go to soldbymarkz.com and start packing.
Call 844-SOLD-BY-Z.
At Walsh College, we're invested in you. We offer an award-winning finance lab with free Bloomberg training for students created to be as close to Wall Street as you can get without a New York zip code. Or flexible undergraduate or graduate degree options, like the ability to complete the Walsh MBA 100% online. And free lifetime career services with resume help and interview prep for when you graduate and long after. Turn to a school that's invested in helping students succeed. Walsh College, where business is turning. Apply now.
AutoZone presents how to rev up your refund. Turn your tax refund into a lot more miles. Thanks to AutoZone, you can find the right oil change supplies to protect your engine mile after mile. Right now, buy 5 quarts of Valvoline conventional motor oil and an STP filter for just $23.99 and get a free pair of Mechanic Square gloves by mail. So visit your local AutoZone. With 88 Metro Detroit area locations, the right supplies and good advice are just around the corner. Let's get you what you need. See store for restrictions and details.
AutoZone.
This Valentine's Day, let Jared turn your feelings into jewelry. Jewelry that tells her she's the best thing that's ever happened to you, in a way that goes beyond words. It could be a piece jewelry designers created just for Jared, or a piece we custom made just for you. Because we're more than a store that sells beautiful jewelry. We're jewelers. The one unique gift that makes her Valentine's Day unforgettable. That's why he went to Jared.
Do you have an opinion? Of course you do. Call the D Las Vegas 97.1 The Ticket studio line at 248-539-9797. The D Las Vegas, the home for Detroit sports in Vegas.
97.1 The Ticket. Thanks one of Detroit's greatest champions, Mike Ilitch.
Welcome back to the show. If you're just joining, it's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. We're in our 17th season here on the air, 25th season at Capital Mortgage right here locally. If you want the best mortgage banker, be sure to call 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. It's easy, 1-800-569-7283. You're going to get the best service, save money on closing costs, and learn the entire process. I'll tell you, there's a lot of first-time home buyers out there. More importantly, there's a lot of first-time agents out there. There must be 2,000 to 3,000 brand new real estate agents here in Southeast Michigan. Again, they all got to start somewhere, and getting more knowledge behind you will help you through the process. And of course, home success is the key. Making sure you can afford the house, you understand the A through Z when you purchase that house. Make it a great experience. And again, we brought Lawrence Levy in from Lawrence Levy & Associates. So if you have any tax problems at all, be sure to give us a call here in the studio. Let's move off to firefighter Keith out there in Detroit. Hey, Keith, thanks for staying on the line and thanks for joining us. Go ahead, sir.
How you doing?
Good, what's up, man?
Yeah, I was just calling because I was listening to it, and I heard what you guys were saying about the firefighters and the deal you guys have. I was just trying to get some information on that because I was looking at it trying to buy a house. I just bought a house recently, and I paid it off, and now I'm trying to actually move into a bigger home, and I was trying to see what are some of my options.
Well, I mean, we just have it's a discount off costs for all our firefighters and police officers. What's the purchase price you're looking at, Keith?
I don't really have a specific price on mine. I'm just I'm in a process of trying to build my credit up to put myself in a better position, but I don't really have a set price or anything in mind. I'm just I'm at the very beginning stage of trying to buy a house.
Hey, Keith, this is Lawrence talking about taxes. When they were asking you about what you're looking for, since you just paid that off, you realize you're going to lose that mortgage deduction. So since you don't have that anymore, it may be beneficial for you to restructure, whether it's refi, and you may want to do some investing. So if you refi your existing home that has some equity in it, whether you want to keep that as a rental, there's certain things you can do strategically that'll help you out. But these guys have a great program that'll give the firefighters out there, any first responders out there, a deal on their costs. But from a tax perspective, you want to look at doing that. Whether you want to keep the house and you want to leverage the equity, they can certainly look at a refi for you. Or if you want to liquidate the house, get rid of it, sell it, move on to something bigger and better, there's certainly a lot of other options. And assuming that your credit's great and everything works out good, as a firefighter, your income's obviously, you have some W-2 income. Do you do anything on the side? A lot of firefighters also, because of your work schedule, you're on 3-4 days, you're off 5-6 days. Do you have a side business that you're looking at doing as well? Any investments, anything like that?
Yeah, I actually have a landscaping company that I own, and I've been doing that for the last few years.
Right. So on that landscape company, when they're evaluating your mortgage, you're going to have your W-2 income as a firefighter from whatever city that you're in. What city are you working in?
In Detroit.
Okay, that's great. We respect that. Actually, we were talking earlier about how there was some action going on. So all those first responders, everyone here on the show really respects that. But so not only do you have your W-2 income, but you also have your landscape business. So you'll have what's called a Schedule C. And when they evaluate that, that's going to help out tremendously for what you're going to qualify for. So there's a whole lot of different things you can analyze, whether you want to refi the existing, whether you want to sell, whether you want to get qualified for a new mortgage. But give the guys here a call and feel free to have them pass you on to us, and we'll take a look at the tax implications that would be of benefit for you with a new mortgage.
Okay.
Keith, your first thing, man, you got to start, like, there's got to be a jumping off point, man. I mean, you can't just say, like, there's got to be a price in mind, like something you want. There has to be a starting point. So, I mean, I would think about that, and let's work backwards. Think what the payment should be, what you would like the payment to be.
And also,
we'll go from there.
And also, we were talking about how rates are so historically low, even though since the election they've ticked up a little bit. But it's never going to be like this. And any of our kids, Keith, do you have kids, by the way?
No.
All right. Well, when you do have a kid, in any of your kids' lifetimes, it's never going to be this low. But thanks for calling into the show. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for the call. 921, if you're just joining us, we'll definitely follow up with Keith and anyone out there who's looking to get a mortgage or find out where they stand in the home purchase world. Definitely give Capital Mortgage a call. You want to get the approval in your hand, and it only takes a couple hours. Truly at the office, if you gave any of us a call, 1-800-LOW-RATE. You just have to send in about 6 documents. It's your tax returns, your pay stubs, bank statements, driver's license. There's about 6 or 7 items. If you can get those to us quickly, you can get an approval letter within, hours, literally within hours, and go out there and start looking for a house. Now, we do advise that in many situations you come and sit down with us, especially the first-time home buyers, to get a lot of knowledge behind you. That knowledge gives you the confidence to move forward. And I don't care what you're doing. If you're buying a pair of shoes, you got to get some knowledge behind you to make the right decision.
You research shoes?
Well, I don't research shoes, but anything out there.
What's your favorite? What are you going with, man?
Well, actually,
pumps.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Reebok pumps?
Right. No, just gym shoes, Alex. That's it. 248-539-9797. We definitely want to take your phone calls here. Debt consolidation, refinancing, 2 loans into one. We've been doing a tremendous amount of that.
Sorry to cut you off. I apologize, buddy. But it's the commercial just ran, and I'm not going to say the name of the company.
Yes,
but it said, your house is your cash.
Oh, boy.
And it really upsets me because you can't treat your house like an ATM. We already went through this once, where you ran up credit card debt, you bought all the shoes or all whatever. You went to Cabo and you bought the jet ski and you refinanced and paid it off. Listen, eventually it's going to dry up. I mean, you can't just keep stripping the equity. I mean, your house is where your family stays, man. It's not an ATM, and it just upsets with the people on commercials like pay off your car, take a vacation.
Absolutely not.
That's not what you do. That's not what
horrible
advice
advice
is there for. That's
horrible.
Awful.
Yeah, I mean, Lawrence, you touched on it a little bit there. Yeah, since the election, the rates had gone up about 5%. But still, now they're still at historical lows. There was just that drop last year where they went from just about 4 1/8, where they're about now, down to about 3.5%. Something unexpected could happen and make the rates drop again, but it's pretty much unlikely. And again, the talk from the Fed funds, Janet Yellen and company we're going to be raising the Fed funds rate. So again, as you mentioned, it's very rare times right now. We're still in these unbelievable opportunity times for you to consolidate debt. Again, consolidate a first and a second mortgage.
At this point in time, with everything's going on government-wise, there's nothing that's certain.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to go with that.
There is nothing. If you ask me where rates are going to be on Monday, I couldn't even tell you.
Yeah, I think
they could be at 1 or at 10. I have no idea.
Yeah, a new way to look at things for sure.
Well, listen, I think it's great advice to everyone out there is listening, because what this show today is going to be about, it's being fiscally responsible. And I think if you're responsible with what you do with your life, with your mortgage, whether it's buying a house, whether it's refinancing a house, and what we were just talking about, don't use your house as your piggy bank. That's ludicrous. That's absolutely a joke. And also make sure that your taxes are in order, because before you can call these guys and get a mortgage, you got to have your tax house in order. So the firefighter who called in, W-2 income, he's got a side business, a landscaping business. You guys see that a lot where you have self-employed people. And now with mortgages, the regs are a little bit more tighter than they were back in the day. I don't want to say the good old days, because I'm not sure how good they really were back then. That would cause a crisis. But now you have to have these full documentation. You have to show your W-2, your pay stubs, your bank statements, where the money is, how you make it. And that's what you need to qualify for a mortgage.
Yeah, 248-539-9797. Want to hear from all the listeners out there. If you're thinking about purchasing a house, need to refinance, or you have tax situation, of course, just filing your taxes alone, be sure to give us a phone call here. We'll get you set up with the real professionals. I like where you went with that, too, because, right, somebody who may be making W-2 income of $60,000 a year, if they have a side business,
it's going to bump it up.
It could bump up, but they also
Unless
could
they
do
show
it
a
the
loss.
other way, right? They could show a tremendous loss on there, and many times we actually need... We're okay. And many times we actually need to go ahead and take a look at those tax returns prior to you going out there and getting excited about a house.
Right.
Get the approval letter in your hand and get the confidence behind you.
It'll make you a stronger buyer.
It's going to make you a stronger buyer, and especially with all the competition. We have a tremendous shortage. We didn't bring a real estate agent in today, and someone will be joining us next week.
Every house has multiple offers and 10 backup cash offers, over listing, right?
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Well, and again, if that's the way they talked last year or last summer, we do expect the same thing to happen. There's definitely going to be a shortage of good homes on the marketplace, although new construction's picking up across the area.
Yeah.
It's just not enough to fill the void of some of the housing out there. And again, there's a lot of first-time home buyers out there. Have your ducks in a row. That way your offer is accepted. And surely make sure you understand if you need to overbid on the house, make sure you understand the money involved and what it takes to
Well, it makes a difference, too, with who you get your approval from. Because, there are a lot of, we do a lot of business, Harvey, the agents that I talk to, and there's certain companies that if their approval's from that company, they're not even taking the offer because it's a train wreck. Every single deal is a train wreck.
Right, and so that's why it's very critical as a first-time buyer, who you're going to go to, what mortgage company you're going to have look at it, and you want guys who are going to give you the straight answer and the straight shot. When you're ready, I want to talk about a little bit about a story with the IRS and a mortgage and a sale of a house and how that could impact someone. So for people that are listening out there, if you have tax problems and you either need to refi, you're looking to get a house and you have a problem, give us a call too, and I'm going to explain how that can work out. But dial into the show with the phone number for the show again is
248-539-9797.
Call in. We want the live callers.
All righty. We got tons to share with you. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket. We've got, another 33 minutes or so of the Hardcore Mortgage Show. Following that up with a ton of sports. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket.
97.1 The Ticket.
Ram 1500 does more than stand the test of time. It stands up to anything you throw at it or in it. With active level 4-corner air suspension with multiple modes, you can lower it for loading or raise it for off-roading. Long live tenacity, and long live the truck that's as versatile as your needs. Ram Truck Month is the only place to get America's longest lasting pickups.
Right now, well-qualified returning FCA employee lessees get a low-mileage lease on the 2017 Ram 1500 Express Crew Cab 4x4 for $199 a month for 24 months with $12.81 due at signing. Tax, title, license extra. Available feature based on IHS Automotive VIO registration data for all brands of GVW 1-3 pickup trucks continuously sold in the U.S. since 1988. Dodge and Ram have the highest overall percentage still on the road. Call 1-877-RAM-5722 for details. Requires dealer contribution to lease through Ally. Lessee is responsible for termination fees. Current lease must end by 4/2/18. 20-cent charge for each mile over 20,000. Residency restrictions apply. Take delivery by 2/28.
We have Dr. Berkowitz from Michigan Hair Restoration in the studio with us today. Dr. B, you and your team are considered Michigan's hair loss experts. What's your secret?
There is so much more to our procedure than just putting hair where you're losing it. We want to give you the volume, the style, the confidence you've always wanted. We use the most cutting-edge technology in the industry, but I consider hair restoration an art. Really?
An art. That's interesting. I look at your hair and it just looks so natural.
And that's the key. We've perfected our technique to give you a natural, full head of hair that's never been possible before. There's no stitches or staples, no linear scar, and the transplanted hair is genetically programmed to grow. Cut it, style it, show it off.
Guys, get your hair and your confidence back. One call to Dr. Berkowitz and Michigan Hair Restoration can change your life. He has a brand new location in West Bloomfield at Maple and Orchard Lake Roads. Just call 844-WANT-HAIR or visit drbforhair.com for 0% financing and guaranteed results. That's DRB, the number 4, hair.com.
You deserve it. a brand new boat. The time is now.
The Detroit Boat Show is back and better than ever. More than 100 of Michigan's best boat dealers and marine businesses under one roof, featuring history of the bathing suit, anamorphic chalk art, and an interactive kids zone. Feel the wind and waves on a personal watercraft simulator. February 11th through 19th at Cobo.
It's time to buy that boat.
DetroitBoatShow.net.
If there's one thing the pros at Advance Auto know, it's parts.
Advance Auto Parts, this is Holly.
Hi, Holly. My car is due for an oil change. Do you guys have any deals right now?
In the Valvoline, we've got full synthetic.
And that'll protect my engine?
That way you don't have to worry about deposits building up.
You really know your stuff. My daughter needs help with her homework. How are you with state capitals?
Awful.
Advance Auto Parts. We know everything about auto parts. Get 5 quarts of Valvoline synthetic motor oil for just $27.99 and get a free pair of mechanics wear gloves by mail. While supplies last, see store for details.
Who doesn't want 3 times more? 3 times more whipped cream on your sundae? Keep it coming. Or 3 times more vacation days?
I could get used to this.
Well, WOW is now giving you 3 times the internet speed without 3 times the price. So triple down and get up to 100 megabits per second internet for $39.99 a month with a 2-year agreement. Visit Huawei.com today. Offer subject to change. Certain restrictions apply. Visit Huawei.com for service descriptions, terms, and conditions.
Hey, it's me again. So, have you ever run out of gas just down the road from a gas station and thought, if I could have just gone a little farther? Well, BP Gasoline with Invigorate cleans dirty engine deposits to help you get more miles per tank. So instead of being out of gas over here, you could be in the station over there. BP Gasoline with Invigorate, our best fuel ever. Versus minimum detergent gas. Average restored 3 to 5 miles per tank. Based on fleet testing. Requires continuous use based on what you drive and how you drive.
What are the 6 powerful words that'll put a smile on anyone's face?
One Powerball ticket coming right up.
Here's something more to smile about.
Saturday's Powerball jackpot is $285 million. Get your ticket today.
The names you trust. The teams you love.
97.1 The Ticket.
Welcome back to the show, 9:32. If you're just joining us, it's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. Give us a call, Capital, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Always live in the studio, 248-539-9797. I'm Harvey Freed. He's Alex Nafusi from Capital. Lawrence Levy and Associates. Lawrence, thanks for joining us, man. You're awesome.
Love having you.
Yeah, we'll have you back. Yeah, once a month for sure until you disappear after tax season, because I know you are pedal to the metal for the next few months here.
Yeah, but we're actually pedal to the metal 12 months a year, 7 days a week. We never stop.
It's never.
No, it's never, because with us, as you know, we were on the break, we were talking about not only is it tax season now, but mortgages, what to do to prepare for it if you want one, and we can talk about that in a second. But I want to explain to everyone out there, there was a client of ours that he got sick, and he had cancer. A very sad story. But he's okay, at least for now. And he ended up having to sell his business. It was a gas station. And the sale of the business triggered a $250,000 liability. And because he needed to downsize because he can't work, couldn't afford the mortgage, right? This show's a mortgage show. He ended up having to list the house for sale. And in the meantime, because he thought he could handle dealing with the IRS himself, he sold the house literally about a month ago. Unfortunately, right before Christmas, IRS comes in and they file a lien. And because of his cancer, we were trying to file what's called an offer in compromise, what's called an ETA, offer in compromise, effective tax administration, which is because of your unique circumstances, you have a really unique situation. We want to try and work out a deal with the IRS. And unfortunately, the timing was such, and he didn't structure his situation properly. And the moral of that story is seek a professional advice, whether it's now with a mortgage company, whether it's with a tax problem that you have, whether it's coming in now, it's tax season, like you said. We are 7 days a week. Give us a call and we'll help you with your taxes. But mortgages, how do people prepare ahead of time for what they need? If someone's listening right now and like you had the firefighter and he's thinking about getting a new house, what do you recommend someone does?
Well, definitely get in touch with us, because we always have to iron out potentially funds that are available and where they're going to get the money from. And then, of course, do they qualify with maybe their existing debts? Sometimes they have to fix their credit. Sometimes they have to pay off debts in order to come back and make this happen a few months later. And again, with all the multiple offers coming and the lack of homes, do you qualify without the sale of your home right now? That's becoming the most important question moving forward this spring, is if you're going to make an offer, you need to have professional mortgage people ahead of time with a real approval, making sure that that you do qualify for the payment without the sale of your existing house. Because if your house isn't sold, here you are, and you got to close, and you were counting on those funds to close. Of course, that's a majorly problem. Tons to share with you. 248-539-9797. Let's go off to Livonia and Joseph. Good morning. Welcome to our show, sir.
Hey, good morning. How you guys doing?
Good morning, sir.
Hey, I have a couple questions. So I'm trying to make it quick. So pretty much I have a house. I have good credit. I'm looking to buy a house probably in that 220 to 250 range next year. One of my questions pretty much is the current house I'm living in is worth more than what I paid for it. So should I sell that house or should I rent it? And when I purchase this new house, should I put down the 50 plus so I don't have to worry about PMI?
Well,
is it worth it?
It's a great question, man. Everything's on a situational basis, man. I mean, you have to think of what works best for you. I mean, if you need the equity from your current home to put down the new one, you're obviously gonna have to sell it. You got to think too. You got to qualify with both house payments now, because it has been rented for 2 years, not on your tax returns. So it's something we want to sit down and look at everything together and look at. You also mentioned putting down the 20% to avoid PMI. We have programs with 5% down with no PMI. So you don't necessarily have to do that.
I haven't heard about that one.
Joseph, what a real concern that I have is, you mentioned early in the conversation that you have a current house now that's underwater. And that's sort of odd, right?
He owes more on it. Or I'm sorry.
You do owe more on the house than it's worth?
No. All right, I bought the house for for a good price, and right now it's worth more.
Oh, it is worth more.
You have equity in it.
Good. Yeah. You do have equity in the house. Great. And when you sold it, based on what's going on in the neighborhood, have you figured out roughly what you would net from the sale of the house? How much would you net from the sale of it?
Probably about 15.
15,000, and so if you have other funds you're working with, perhaps you'll have the money. I think, like as Alex said, it's an individual circumstance, because that particular house that you find maybe next year or when you're out there shopping, will that house need a new kitchen? If it does, then of course you won't put down a higher amount of money. You'll keep the money to use for home improvements.
I'm not going to get a house that needs all that. I'll just put a roof on this house and stuff. I'm not trying. I want to get a house that if I'm putting down $250,000 at most, then all this stuff should be good to go. Otherwise, I'll just buy a house for $180 and do what you just said.
You might be a new construction buyer for sure. Hey, Joseph, there's a lot going on here. We're going to give you a call after the show and see if we can help you with a little bit more knowledge, and again, get you that approval letter so you can move forward. Thank you for the call.
All right,
thanks, man.
All right, we'll move on to a few calls here. 248-539-9797 if you'd like to join the show, and we'll get back to tons of information. Joe from New Baltimore, welcome to our show. Go ahead, sir.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Hey, just a question, Chris. I have a home in Lake Orion. It's paid for. I am, however, self-employed, but my taxes are, everything's on the up and up, and I'm just looking to take a loan on it.
Okay, sounds easy enough.
Sounds very easy.
The tricky part is once I get the loan, I'm knocking the house down.
That is a tricky part. And again, that would activate the due on sale clause. Now, I got to tell you, many families across the United States have definitely done that. They've got their current mortgage. They've got enough equity to start building, but there's a lien on that house. And the bank that you have the lien with, if they find out, they would activate the due on sale clause. So maybe a conversation off the air with us. Maybe consider the fact that a new construction loan would work out better for you. And that way you're not doing anything illegal. I just hate to see you already got a lot going on if you're subcontracting the house yourself, or you're building a house, you're knocking it down, your family's going to live somewhere else. It really sounds like a new construction loan would work better for you. We also have renovation loans, so we'll follow up with you some great information. And could you imagine if you knock it down and the bank came knocking on your door and looking for the house?
Yeah,
what would you say, Joe?
I've had the house for over 20 years. It's just now I'm going to build the house. I live in New Baltimore, but I want to build the house I'm retire into.
Sure.
And it's when I started to, speak to people about the renovation, they decided it might be easier just to knock it down and start over.
Yeah, and there's no doubt. Just go ahead and do it that way. But you got to get the proper loan to go ahead and do that project. Make sure your funds are all set up the proper way. Yeah, you don't want to have a due on sale clause in the middle of a new construction purchase.
Okie-doke.
Good stuff. Thanks, Joe. We'll follow up with you. And again, if you'd like to call the show, 248-539-9797, always at Capital.
Be real careful with that, man.
You do. And many families have done this over the years, Alex. We don't endorse it. It's very scary. And more importantly, you could get yourself in a lot of trouble. I mean, we don't ever suggest you do anything that's against the law.
No, and also, talking about that, you really got to be cautious, because a lot of people have done that, especially now with trying to refi. there are programs out there, whether it's the new construction loans or whether it's the, is there something like a refi with a renovation?
Yeah.
Is that what
the new renovation
you
loan?
can, yeah, but you can't knock the entire house down.
You need to keep up a wall.
Yeah, I mean,
No, I was actually, my wife is a real estate lawyer, and she was talking to me in general about how that works and how these mortgage clauses, the pull the mortgage comes due clause or
due
whatever,
on sale.
due on sale, right? But it really wouldn't be a sale, but due on knockdown.
Exactly.
I mean,
Yeah, that's
due
what
on tear down, due on one wall standing.
Technically, like if this is how sketchy it is, and technically, if you quit claim your house into like an LLC just for protection,
due on sale too.
Technically
Right,
it's sale,
and if I'm not mistaken, let's say that years ago or even now, like the callers that you had, they were thinking about renting their house. Some mortgages have a clause where unless you get approval from the mortgage company, you cannot technically rent, and that could trigger a potential due on rent clause to be activated.
On a standard Fannie Mae Freddie Mac back loan, there's that clause. The non-rental one isn't in there, but yeah, back in the day, dude, if there was so much sketch going on. It was so bad. It just drives me crazy to think about it.
All right, let me throw this out there. It's 9:40. If you're just tuning in, it's the Hardcore Mortgage Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Always here live in the studio, 248-539-9797. Tons of information to share with you. Again, now we're starting to talk about a whole bunch of different things. But again, keep yourself doing the right thing. Stay on track and to talk to the professionals, whether it be on the tax side or the mortgage side or the real estate side. If you're a new real estate agent out there, you're working with some young families, get them in touch with Capital Mortgage Funding. Why not? Have a closing that'll happen in a timely manner. Sell houses, you stay in your swim lane and make it work. Your career will flourish if you get the right mortgage banker behind you. Again, Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE. Alex, we have some unbelievable new programs. We just touched on it. We have the renovation loan. It's a conventional mortgage for you families out there that might have a little bit of different situation. The FHA 203K loans, we handle those in the office, along with all the minimum down programs. VA 0 down, USDA loans 0 down for rural development loans, 3% down conventional mortgages, and we have the Home Possible and the Home Ready programs through Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. If you're not calling Capital Mortgage Funding, you're not going to save a lot of money, and you probably won't have as much success on your home as you should. All right, let's move on to some calls here. We've got Chris. You want to go to a break? Or we got a quick call? Let's go to Chris real quick out in Dundee. Hey, Chris, welcome to our show. Go ahead.
Chris, what's up?
Hi, can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What's up?
So I just bought a house in October. I borrowed about $30,000 less than what it appraised for, and now my mom wants me to buy her house. She says she's willing to pay a year's worth of payments, and I can just assume her mortgage. And I'm wondering how the whole assumption of a mortgage works.
The only type of loan you can assume is an FHA mortgage.
There's very few assumable mortgages out there. More importantly, your mom would still be on the hook for that loan with the low interest rates we have now. It's not necessarily an easy path to you to getting the financing removed from her name into your name. What's your mom's current interest rate?
I'm not real sure.
Yeah, could you imagine that? That's the most important thing. The reason why assumptions became popular in the 70s, 80s, 90s, potentially for a little while there is if at any time someone had a mortgage from the 60s when the rates were as low as they are today. Well, the real kicker is it's likely that the mortgage interest rates today, Chris, are lower than what your mom has.
Well, she just refinanced last year.
That's likely not going to be an assumable mortgage. You just get your own. You just get your own mortgage.
She has to say the house, Chris. You can do what's called the gift of equity. So whatever the current mortgage balance is, let's say it's $50,000. If the house is worth $100,000, she can gift you the $50,000 in equity.
Yeah, we could set it up so that you could take over the ownership of the house, and she could sell it to you with the gift of equity, cover the closing costs, prepaid items, set up the whole transaction. She could actually sell you the house, especially if that's going to be your primary residence. It'll be a really easy transaction.
All right. She said she checked with her mortgage company and that it is an assumable mortgage.
Really? Well, then assume it. You don't even know what the rate is. But go ahead and assume it, man. It sounds like a good idea.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I need to get some more information.
I think that's a good idea, Chris.
For sure. We'll definitely give you a follow-up call on it, Chris, and see if we can help you with some financing. Yeah. We still get those phone calls all the time.
But he's assuming.
Well, you know what? We're going to help him save a lot of money.
Absolutely.
Hey, look, if you're in the same situation, be sure to call the professionals, Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE. When we come back, all of your calls.
The new 2017 Chevrolet Malibu offers dramatic design, exceptional efficiency, and advanced technology. A hat trick with wheels. I'm Dylan Larkin, Red Wing and Detroit native. Chevrolet is offering tickets to see the team take the ice at an upcoming home game. Brought to you by Chevrolet, official vehicle of the Red Wings.
You may have noticed that shopping at Trader Joe's is unlike shopping at other markets. People ask us all the time how we manage to have such unique, interesting, and delicious products at such great everyday prices. This is Dan Bain of Trader Joe's. The answer is simple. It's all in the way we do business. We buy directly from the manufacturer whenever possible. This helps to keep our costs low, and we pass those savings on to you. We also buy in very large quantities, pay on time, and in cash. And wouldn't you know it, our suppliers really like that about us. And of course, we don't have sales or frequent shopper programs. We have everyday low prices 365 days a year. If our costs change, we adjust our prices. But if our costs remain the same, so do our prices. No gimmicks, just great values at honest prices. Every day at Trader Joe's. For the location of your neighborhood Trader Joe's, check us out at TraderJoe's.com. And thanks for listening.
How would you like to flip a contract on a house overnight for a nice profit? Hi, I'm Nick Fertucci. For the last 3 years, my elite team of house flippers have used my unique 3-step flipping system to reduce risk and make money flipping houses. I'm growing my team in your area, and I'm looking for help. I have more cash available than deals right now, and I can show you how to get up to $350,000 of pre-approved real estate funding. That's right, I said it. $350,000 of pre-approved real estate funding, regardless of credit score. Interested candidates, call now and get an inside peek of my flipping system. I'll rush you out a free copy of my Fortunes and Flipping CD kit that will show you how to get in, get out, and get paid when you come join my team.
Call 1-800-615-0901 now to get your free Fortunes and Flipping CD. Call 800-615-0901 now, and you'll also get free tickets to a live training workshop that includes a free meal, a free smartwatch, power charger, and USB drive loaded with powerful information, all as free gifts just for attending. Call 800-615-0901. That's 800-605-0901. Call now.
When someone speaks from the heart, we listen carefully. But what about when your heart speaks to you? Take a deep breath. What do you feel? Shortness of breath? Unusual heartbeat? Chest pain? Your heart may be telling you that you're at risk for a pulmonary embolism, a blood clot. It blocks essential oxygen going to your lungs. It's serious. Listen carefully. You need to see a cardiovascular specialist at the Detroit Medical Center. The DMC cardiovascular team has perfected a minimally invasive clot buster procedure that takes special medication to the clot, dissolves it, and returns the flow of oxygen to your heart. An advancement we now teach around the country. So don't wait. Listen to your heart. Find your heart expert at 888-DMC-2500 or dmc.org/heart. DMC, 8 hospitals, 1 commitment to leading heart care.
Mother Nature has blessed snow lovers with a big blast of the white stuff, and Alpine Valley's ready for winter fun. Strap on your skis, grab your boards, and head to Alpine Valley, the largest and most picturesque ski area in southern Michigan, with just the right slopes for beginners and experts alike. Snowboarders can take on the terrain park for extreme fun. If you're looking for great snow and incredible skiing values, discover Alpine Valley, Southeast Michigan's mountain of fun. Alpine Valley Ski Area on Highland Road in White Lake. Visit skialpinevalley.com. Detroit Tigers season tickets are on sale now for as little as $13 per game. Select your seat for the 2017 season this Saturday at Comerica Park from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Enter to win great prizes plus free parking in the Tigers Garage. For information, call 313-471-BALL or visit Tigers.com.
The baseball team that Detroiters love most. The Detroit Tigers live here.
Alrighty, welcome back to the show, 9:48 if you're just joining us. Yeah, it's the Hardcore Mortgage Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. Call us at Capital, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Also live in the studio, 248-539-9797. All your calls. We've got some to get to. In fact, we'll do that, Bobby, and then I'll give you a little announcement here right after, because this is a good one. We got something out there for all of you owners out there of small businesses and even larger businesses, a corporate program we want to roll out to you guys. But first, let's go out to Greg. Greg out in Macomb, you've got a question about a mortgage. Go ahead, sir.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good morning, sir.
We got a FHA loan about a little over 5 years ago. We had to get PMI insurance. We were at about 90%. And so then after a couple of years, the home values were rising rapidly. We assessed our house in the area and, contacted, well, ours is through Quicken Loans. We contacted them about getting that PMI dropped. They informed us, no, you've got to wait 5 years. That's in your contract.
No, it's for the life of the loan.
Yeah, it's called MIP. MIP, the mortgage insurance premium on an FHA loan sort of sticks with the loan.
It doesn't go away.
Oh. Yeah, well, that's not what we were informed at the time. They said 5 years.
Okay.
Then when we called at 5 years, then she said, well, no, we can only use your original appraisal. Or, she basically said we owe another $15,000 before they consider dropping the PMI.
Why don't you just do a refinance, Greg?
Well, that was the next question is, our interest rate right now is 3.75. And
Moot point. What's the mortgage amount right now?
Mortgage amount is about $150. I believe.
So you're paying $150 a month in PMI.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that. I'm at work right now. I don't have the paperwork.
Okay. Well, the interest rate's a moot point. If you're three and three quarters, if you're paying $150 a month in PMI, is basically like paying
maybe 5 1/8. Yeah.
Wow.
You're right on the money with me.
Point different, buddy. Same page.
Okay. You guys must be in the mortgage business.
Greg, if we can refinance the house, even if we do it in the low 4s and we drop the PMI, you're still in better shape. And as Lawrence will tell you, the interest is tax deductible. The PMI is not.
Right. So you're better off getting rid of that PMI all day long.
So, is that something common with FHA? I mean, their PMIs go the entire length of their...
Yes. They had actually...
Okay, I was just going to say, I was always under the impression that PMI was always based on, the value of the house to what you owed on it.
They changed it in the housing crisis in 2007-8. So what happened was the MIP is sticking with the loan. The legislation, they actually put out a mortgagee letter back in December, and they were going to do with the new FHA loans, it was going to make it where the MIP would drop off after a certain point when your loan to value got to a certain point. That was pulled off the table now. Although FHA is still a great program for many people. In your case, if you have a lot of equity in your house, even if you don't have quite 20% equity, if your credit's good, we could switch you to a conventional mortgage. And as Alex said, the rate would be maybe a little higher, but having no mortgage insurance would actually be a big savings to you, and potentially you can even drop maybe 5 or 10 years off your mortgage. It's a great call, Greg. Better professional people in your mortgage world, I think we're going to help save you a lot of money.
All right. I'd definitely be interested in looking into that.
All right, we're going to give you a contact after the show. We'll follow up.
Show, man. No worries.
All right.
You got it. Great call.
Thanks,
Great call. Again, anyone out there with an old FHA mortgage, you've been paying this MIP for 3, 4, 5 or more years, give us a phone call. Let us show you ways to save money on your mortgage. Let's roll off to Sherry real quick in Novi. Good morning, Sherry. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
What's up?
Well, I had a question. I am in negotiations for purchasing a home, and I want to know if it's in my best interest. Basically, they want a sales price guarantee. So if the appraisal comes in lower,
absolutely not.
They want me to make up the difference to get it to their sales price.
Absolutely.
Hold on a sec. Let's talk about that. So what happens if, what's your purchase price?
It's $325.
So what happens when the house comes in? Let's just say this. So it comes in at $320. Do you have because you don't want to lose the house, do you have the extra $5,000? And if that's the case, based on all the other homes you saw out there, would that be a good investment for you? Because home values are going to go up, let's say this spring or summer, only coming out of pocket for an additional $5,000 because potentially the appraisal, maybe it doesn't include the fact that the whole finished basement is gorgeous. Because it just doesn't equivalate on an appraisal. Do you have the extra money to bring?
Well, that's just it. I do have $5,000. I do have an extra $5,000, but that's all I'm willing to put on it. So if it comes in, say, $315, I can, or $320, I'm good. But if it comes in at $315, I'm not willing to.
Sure, you got to put in the purchase agreement that you'll pay up to $5,000 over the appraised value.
But then write it right in there. Say, look, if it comes in for less, I have an extra $5,000 I can work with.
But you should cap it out, though.
Yeah, cap it out. And again, the whole thing can blow up. The whole thing can blow up, so you walk away.
What if it comes in at $250?
Well, that's not going to come in there.
How do you know?
Well, because Sherry's so smart, she's already comped out the neighborhood and she's already seen so many houses, right, Sherry? You know that it's somewhere around.
You're absolutely right.
Okay.
You're absolutely right. I do know that the houses that sold that's comparable, actually they had a little bit more square footage and a couple of them had an extra bedroom and they sold for less. So
you've done your due diligence and you're confident.
I don't think it's going to come in at $325, maybe $315.
Sherry, I'm just trying to manage the downside risk on this for you. I'm just, I'm
Alex is the yin and the yang with us.
I'm just protecting you as a client. I mean, what if you get a crappy appraiser? What if you get it's his first appraisal ever, and he brings that house in at $300,000?
When's the appraisal supposed to come back? Because we want you to call back into the show.
We're not past that yet. We're in negotiations I'm trying to decide if I want to come back and because they're asking for a price guarantee, and I'm going to do a counter stating that $5,000
there you go.
more than whatever the appraised value coming. I just wonder if that was a good idea or not.
We're giving you a thumbs up on this end with that concept.
Sherry, we want to handle your mortgage for you. Potentially, we're going to call you after the show here and see if we can get you on Capital Mortgage. Maybe we could save you some additional money, give you the proper advice. So far today, we've given you a little bit of good advice I think you can use. Get us on board, more professional people, and you'll save money on your mortgage, and all the other good stuff will happen for you. Thanks for the call. It's awesome.
Thank you so much.
No worries, Sherry.
All righty. We'll definitely folloll up with you. And again, anyone else out there.
Nice lady.
She was great.
And there's a lot to know. There you go. You're making an offer on a house. What if this happens? What if that happens?
Here's the thing, though. Okay, with those price guarantees, if it's just for the sake of round numbers, if it's $350,000 and you guarantee to pay the $350 and it comes in at $300, if you've got an angry seller, they're going to keep your earnest money deposit if you decide not to buy it.
Look, we've got tons of great real estate agents.
Yeah, exactly.
We've got tons of great real estate agents out. There's a lot of other things she can do to protect herself, including putting a clause on that purchase agreement that states that we won't do the home inspection till after the appraisal comes in. Why spend another $400 or $500 on a home inspection and then a week later the appraisal blows up and you have no deal? So maybe also smarter people, smarter professionals will go ahead and say, you know what, let's hold off on the inspection until after the appraisal. Why not? Save you another $400. Why tie yourself up to a house that may or may not appraise and there might not be a deal?
Always do your homework. Listen to professionals. And one thing as the show winds down as we come to the top of the hour here, I wanted just to bring back to two things, actually. I thought it was great how you brought up the firefighters and the police officers. And for anyone listening out there, not only does your mortgage company offer a special discount to first responders, we'll call it teachers as well, but our office, if you need your taxes done, we're also offering a special discount to any policemen, firefighters out there, any educators, Michigan educators. But let me finish off the show, if I could, for the last 60 seconds or so. We've talked about a lot of things, but let's finish with a couple of home runs, because we deal with people who have IRS tax problems, and if you have one, before you can get a mortgage, most of the time, although if you have a payment plan, you can get a mortgage. We just had a client that we had an accepted offer and compromise. They owed literally over $40,000. And I want to be very clear before we explain what the success story is. Not everyone is going to qualify for the offer and compromise, much like everyone won't qualify for a mortgage. If I come in and say, look, guys, I want a $10 million mortgage. And Lawrence, how much do you make? And here's what you got to qualify for. So it's a little bit of a reality pill. But this client owed the IRS over $40,000. And just this month, in February of 2017, they literally settled for $100. So now their tax lien's going to go away, and we're going to say, why don't you go out and why don't you get a house and why don't you call the guys at Capital Mortgage Funding? $40,000 on $100,000. Doesn't happen every day. That's what the Offer and Compromise program is, and Michigan now also has it. So, guys, thanks for having me on the show. Absolutely loved it.
Fabulous stuff. Again, get in touch with Capital Mortgage Funding. We've got a team of professionals, just like Lawrence Levy and Associates. Be sure to call us, top-notch professional real estate agents. That's going to do it for another mortgage show. Want to thank Alex Nafusi, my partner. Bobby Efros to my right. We'll get you on again, Bobby, to talk about the Affinity program. We've got Kyle Bogey coming up next. Pat Caputo, keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket.
97.1 The Ticket.
Hi, Harry Glantz for Capital Mortgage Funding. Rates are at historic lows, and they're not going down to zero. So what are you waiting for? Call 1-800-LOW-RATE and let our award-winning staff help you save money. If you're looking to purchase a new home, refinance your existing home, and you want to save money, call 1-800-LOW-RATE and take advantage of these historic low rates. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. What are you waiting for? Call 1-800-LOW-RATE. Capital Mortgage Funding is powered by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, NMLS ID number 2289, Equal Housing lender.
Business owners, do you want to be more efficient and save money? Well, DTE Energy wants to help. And here to talk about it is Brian from DTE. Welcome.
Hey, I'm excited to be here.
So how does DTE